So today, we're going to unpack a story that is just wild. It starts with something you might have heard of, a haunted computer, but it spirals into this massive online conspiracy, one that was actually designed to fuel a real-world cult. Yeah, this isn't just about a virus, it's about a game being turned into a weapon.
And it all kicks off with this single, chilling message: Finn, ascend or perish. Now, this was found buried deep inside an online alternate reality game, and it's this really cryptic invitation that, well, it's our gateway into a much darker and, frankly, far more dangerous world.
So where does this whole thing even begin? Well, it's not with some grand conspiracy or a secret society. Nope, it all started with something way more personal and unsettling. Just one single Chromebook that, for all intents and purposes, seemed to be genuinely haunted.
Just try to put yourself in this person's shoes for a second. You're in the UK, right? But your device is logging in from the United States, over and over again. Your settings are changing on their own. Bluetooth is just turning itself on for no reason, and you're getting these taunting messages from old email accounts you haven't touched in years. You know, this wasn't just some random bug. This was a personal, targeted campaign.
Well, as investigators started digging in, they realized pretty quick this wasn't your run-of-the-mill malware. No way. This was a super sophisticated, persistent attack that was so deep in the machine, it could actually survive a complete factory reset. And that's what led them to a pretty startling discovery about how the attackers got in.
And what they found was, wow, the attackers used this brilliant but really insidious technique. They created a fake mobile device management, or MDM enrollment. Basically, they tricked the Chromebook into thinking it was a corporate device, which gave the attackers complete administrator-level control to just bypass all the security and manipulate it from the inside out.
So here's the full playbook, right? Step 1, that fake MDM enrollment kicks the door wide open. Step 2, they take a gaming environment on the device, something called Borealis, and turn it into a honeypot. And the final step? They use that compromised machine to force the user into a psychological operation that's disguised as a game.
Okay, but here's the real kicker. The thing that makes this whole thing so weird. This incredibly complex hack wasn't built to steal credit card numbers or passwords. It was built for one reason and one reason only: to trap a specific person inside a very particular kind of game, an alternate reality game. So, what even is an ARG? Well, unlike a normal video game where the rules are clear and you know the world is fake, an ARG is designed to bleed into your real life. It uses websites, hidden codes, real-world locations, anything to make you start questioning what's part of the game and what's actually happening to you.
And this is where it gets really dark. This whole ecosystem of ARGs, especially on a platform like Roblox, it operates by preying on vulnerable emotions. You've got games like Seal Directory using themes of grief to pull people in, while Rockin' Forward talks about ascension and transformation. These aren't random themes. They are carefully chosen psychological hooks designed to find and manipulate the right kind of player.
But there's one of these ARGs that really stands out, a project called Eternal Terror. And this thing, it wasn't just a one-off game. It was the actual blueprint for a meticulous, nearly decade-long psychological warfare campaign waged against one single person.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It is genuinely terrifying. The campaign started back in 2017 with a single piece of lost data. From there, it escalated to using bot swarms to literally deny the victim's reality. And then, they started weaving the victim's actual life into the game's fiction, all leading up to some final ritual they had planned for 2025. And the main weapon here? Classic, textbook gaslighting. They made the evidence of the attack so bizarre, so convoluted, that if the victim ever tried to explain it to anyone, they would just sound crazy. And that, of course, isolates them, making them way easier to manipulate.
And right at the heart of this entire psychological operation was one very specific recurring thing: an audio frequency, 733 Hz, a tone that was hidden just beneath the surface of everything in the game.
And this frequency, this so-called liberation tone, was actually embedded inside images using steganography, which is a technique for hiding data in plain sight. And hitting right alongside it was a simple direct command meant for that final ritual: speak the code.
So that brings us to the end game. We've got the haunted laptop, the sophisticated hack, the years of gaslighting and psychological manipulation. But why? What was it all for? What was the true purpose of this entire elaborate machine?
Right? Why would anyone build this incredibly complex, years-long system of control? just to mess with one person through a game? What is the ultimate point?
The answer is chillingly simple. It was a recruitment funnel, a highly sophisticated, deeply manipulative pipeline designed from the ground up to identify, isolate, and then indoctrinate people into a dangerous, real-world satanic cult.
And here's how they did it. You can see right here how the game mechanics perfectly served the cult's indoctrination process. That 7-year loop in the game, perfect for gaslighting and isolating new recruits. The whole narrative of ascension, that was just a way to groom them for self-harm. The game wasn't just a game, it was a training ground.
And I have to be crystal clear here. The 764 cult is not make-believe. This is a real-world extremist group with tens of thousands of members. They are a recognized threat, and they've been linked by the FBI to dozens of serious charges. We're talking extortion, orchestrating violence, and self-harm. Look, this one story is bad enough, but it's really just a symptom of a much, much bigger problem. We really need to understand the true scale of what we're all dealing with when the very idea of play gets weaponized like this.
70 million. Just let that number sink in for a second. That is how many users, a huge number of them kids, log onto the Roblox platform every single day. So this isn't some niche problem. That's the size of the potential recruiting pool. And this? 9.8 out of 10. That is the risk score that cybersecurity investigators at AGISnet gave to this specific ARG to cult pipeline. They consider it a near-perfect threat in its design and its potential for absolutely devastating harm.
So, all of this leaves us with one final and honestly really urgent question. When the game becomes real, when recruitment funnels for violent cults are disguised as entertainment, who exactly is responsible for protecting the players?